These are the plaintiffs, Teresa Lopes and Carla and Fred Alongi. Teresa says the defendant moved into her place. They got engaged and then a year later called the whole thing off. The defendant agreed to split expenses with her while they lived together and share in the wedding expenses, which are wasted because they've split up. She says any man that mooches off a woman's not really a man at all. And they're suing the louse for $5,000, the money they're owed. This is the defendant, Len Weiss. He says he's not wearing the wedding dress the plaintiff bought, so why should he split the cost? He also wants to see an itemized list of the expenses she purports to have spent on the wedding, because he knows she's making a lot of it up in order to stick it to him. Bottom line, they split up because she was too impatient as he tried to get what is now a lucrative business off the ground. He's accused of mooching. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $863.92, the cost of an engagement ring he gave the plaintiff.
Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome.
Okay. Teresa Lopes
Yes.
and Carla and Fred Alongi.
Yes.
You are suing Len Weiss, Teresa's former fiance, for $5,000 in damages, that being half of your wedding plans, half of your wedding expenses, and the rest for pain and suffering. You are counterclaiming against her $863.92 that you paid for the engagement ring, because apparently this has been called off.
Yes.
All right. Teresa, let's start with you. Tell me what's going on.
Okay, we met last April.
How'd you guys meet?
Online.
Okay.
He brought up early on about moving in my house with me and my children. He promised to pay $700 a month to help me lighten the load with the expenses of the house. So by July 1st, he moved in.
You moved, okay, you met him when?
April 2009. He moved in by July 1st.
Why would you have children, right?
Yes.
How old are your children?
16 and 14.
You have girls or boys?
A boy and a girl.
Which one's a girl?
16-year-old.
So you moved a guy who you met on the internet 2 months ago into the house with your girl?
2 months after we met, yes.
Yeah.
Well,
Seriously, what were you thinking?
I know.
What happened to you? What was your scarred history that would lead you to move a guy in who you just met?
Well, I'm divorced 4 years, but that had nothing to do with it.
How long were you married?
Almost 13.
So he moves in, and is he paying $700 a month?
No, a month went by, and I had to confront him about him giving me money because he hadn't given me any money.
What did he do for a living?
A personal trainer.
Okay. And when he moves in, according to you, he's going to pay $700 a month. All right. And then he moves in, and after a month, you're not seeing any money. Do you confront him?
I
and
did.
He says what?
I did. He said to me, he says, well, I think $700 is too much. I says, well, what can you afford? He says, 5. So I said, okay.
So did he start paying 5?
No.
Okay. So why didn't you kick him out?
Well, he proposed December, and things were going good.
Wait. How do we even get to December? He moves in, and when? When did he move in? July.
July. Things were going good. And it
like
wasn't
August. Why didn't you kick him out when he wasn't
I know,
paying for anything?
Because he kept, I don't know.
So you're supporting you, him, and 2
Right.
kids. So every single month, you're not getting the $500.
No.
Okay. What's your version on that?
Yeah, eventually my clients had dissipated because the economy was getting bad. But now that I'm with another company, things have picked up really well. We have 2 personal training studios. I just hired 3 more trainers. So things are going pretty well.
Okay, wait. Things were not going well for a year because you didn't pay the $500 because they weren't going well, and then they go well 3 weeks after she...
All she had to do was wait.
You guys break up?
All she had to do was wait. That's what I asked her to do.
It was just those last 3 weeks? That was like the clincher, the last 3 weeks? Because from the time you guys broke up to the time she filed a lawsuit, it was 3 weeks. And your answer to the lawsuit is things are going great now. So in 3 weeks, things are going great?
Honestly, it was.
You got another girlfriend now, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. How long did it take you to get another girlfriend?
Oh, not long at all.
Okay, so she thought that you were up to no good instead of making money to help pay household expenses. Was she right?
Absolutely not.
Okay. All right. Now, you found her to be controlling.
Yes.
And by the way, how'd you get along with her kids? Good?
Oh, the son pretty well. The daughter just, it was like O positive, would A be negative? Wasn't working.
No. All right. They're always a tougher nut to crack. All right. So now, how did you guys break up? And when did you guys break up? What happened?
It was around April 6th. We had a discussion, and I felt he wanted me to be more understanding about his job, and I felt he wasn't ready for responsibility, so I confronted him on it. And after asking him a few times, he told me no. that he relinquished all responsibility and that he'd be out the next day. And when I came home from work the next day, he was gone.
Okay, now, during the months from between December when you got engaged and April when you broke up, you guys were planning a wedding. A wedding that apparently you two couldn't afford.
Exactly.
Tell me about that.
We went to my parents a week after he proposed and asked if we could borrow money, and we agreed to pay them each back $100 a month.
Okay. All right, so the figure that you are claiming for are the figures of the money that was already spent, the deposits, not the rest of it, or it's also the rest of it?
No, not the rest of it.
Just
Because-
just the money that's
Right,
lost?
yes.
Okay. She's stuck with all these bills. What's your version on this?
I feel I'm responsible for deposits made.
Okay.
Half of deposits made.
Really? That's not what you say in your answer to the complaint. You say, why should I have to pay for the dress and the bridesmaid's dress? She could wear it to the prom. Let me
Right,
hear
that's
that.
deposits made. I'm responsible for half. The dress doesn't include deposits made.
Was the dress purchased?
The dress was purchased.
Okay, so
I didn't pick
isn't
it
that
out.
money that was expended for the wedding?
I didn't pick it out. I didn't tell her where to get her alterations made either. To go back to David's Bridal and spend almost $500 in alterations when she could have gone somewhere else to have it
All my
done.
alterations were
Weren't you part of the
$255.
decisions on where the dress was being bought and how much money was being spent and what hall was going to be rented? Well, maybe you should have been. That way you could control the spending a little more to your liking. Because if the money gets spent and you're like, well, she's the woman, let her plan it, how are you later going to say, oh, no, now, Judge, I want you to take a fine-tooth comb and go through these expenses?
I was involved with as far as where, who the DJ was and where the venue was going to be. But the little details, for her, for where she was getting her hair done, the makeup, I wasn't involved in any of that. That was more of her part.
Okay. Let's talk, let me ask you about the kids. Did you get a chance to say goodbye to them?
I said goodbye to Nick. I waited for Teresa to leave in the morning. Then I heard her daughter leave in the morning. And I knew Nick was downstairs watching TV, so I sat down on the couch and I said, Nick, I'm not going to be here when you get home from school. And he said, fine. But he didn't quite
He
get
didn't
it. I
He
wasn't.
didn't grasp it.
I said, no, I'm really not going to be here. And he kind of freaked out.
What do you mean?
He wasn't happy. He started crying. He said, you can't leave. You make my mom so happy. I want you to be here. You can't leave. You have to work things out with Mom. I said, I can't. I tried with her. I tried to talk to her. She doesn't want to listen. It has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with your sister. It's between your mother and I. You did nothing wrong.
But was he saying he did something wrong?
No, I just don't want him to think that he had any type of responsibility in me leaving. And as he put in a note that he had left me,
He left you a note?
yeah, I believe it was.
Can I see it? Do you have
Sure.
it?
Yeah, I have a copy of it.
You know about the note?
I didn't see it, if anything, because he was gone.
How old is he?
14.
Oh, please don't go. You guys can work. I'm going to give you the gist of it because I know your 14-year-old boy does not want me reading this letter because it's sweet and it's 14-year-old boys don't want anybody to know they're sweet. But the basic premise is that he doesn't want this to happen and that he loves you and loves the life that everybody had there and at one point says, please stay in contact with our phones. God bless him. And this, my dear lady, is why you don't bring somebody into your house who you've known for 60 days, because you don't know if it's going to last. You see? You want to date. You want to have a life? Of course you have a life. I'm not suggesting that you put your entire personal love life on hold, but I am suggesting that you not bring it home quite so fast. Because this is what happens. This is what happens. God bless them. I mean, I don't know if did you ever talk to the daughter ever? I mean, I know you didn't talk to her then. Did you ever talk to her?
The CEO of the company that I work for has a Facebook.
For the company?
For the company,
Okay.
right. But it's also personal. So she marks everything down, what's going on with the company, and the daughter had put a derogatory statement directed about me on her Facebook.
On whose Facebook?
On the
The
CEO's.
employer's?
Yeah, my
Okay, and what did
employer.
she say about you? What was derogatory?
Something as, it went something to the effect of a man who mooches off another woman isn't a man at all. But as I mentioned,
As you mentioned, what?
all I needed was time to gain clients. Teresa wasn't allowing me to run a business. All right, I'm no longer just a subcontractor for a company. I'm the vice president of the Fit Squad
When
Incorporated.
did you become vice president? She filed the lawsuit.
How
3 weeks
wasn't
after
I
you guys
allowing
broke
him
up.
to
Hold
run a
on.
business?
When did you become? How did all the good stuff happen after you broke up?
Because I had the ability to help run the company. That's why Teresa.
But you had that 3
Teresa-
weeks earlier.
I
How come
didn't.
it didn't
No, I
happen
didn't.
3 weeks earlier.
I didn't.
Is it because now you had to because there was nobody paying your mortgage? There's no more sugar mama. When there was a sugar mama, there was no reason to hustle and become vice president of a company. So yeah, you know, now all of a sudden, isn't he motivated? Isn't that grand? Okay, let me ask you something. Why you gave me an answer to her charges, basically saying, look, Judge, I think I'm responsible for some things, but not others. I don't have anything to do with the girly stuff, the wedding dress, the makeup, the earrings, the bridesmaid's dress. She's got to eat that 100%, but I'll pay the other stuff. And your reasoning for that is what again? Because you don't wear the wedding dress to a club, okay? The wedding dress is part of the wedding expenses.
She's got plenty of time to get married again. She could wear it with someone else.
Your Honor.
How black is your soul that you would make that statement? Seriously.
And welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So, good idea, bad idea for her to move a guy in after meeting him for 2 months?
Bad idea.
Why?
She didn't know the guy.
Fair enough. What's the problem?
And she has 2 children.
What's the problem?
You don't bring a stranger in with your children.
Why?
That, to me, that's not being a good mom.
But why? What's dangerous
She
about it?
answered, she said everything.
Not really. What is it that makes it dangerous or bad?
That's not normal.
Huh?
It's just not normal to just have a strange person move into your house that you barely know.
Fair enough, but what makes it, huh?
He could be a murderer, he could be a killer, he could be crazy.
Okay, for starters, that's good. And there are other things, too, going inside the courtroom.
You have a counterclaim against her for the engagement ring. Tell me about that. Do you have the engagement ring?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Did he ever ask for it back?
He did not.
All right. Do you have the ring here?
Yes, I do.
Can I see it? It's a very pretty ring. Why is it that you won't return the ring?
He never asked me for the ring.
Okay. Here's how it works.
He can have the
okay.
ring.
Yeah, he's going to have it. Different states have different laws governing the engagement. Let's talk about that first because that's the easiest part. Okay. Your state, in the state of New York, is not a fault kind of state. Some states, you got to figure out whose fault the breakup was. The bottom line is, on states without fault, this is a ring that is meant only if you get married. You don't get married, regardless if I did you totally wrong, you got to give me the ring back. That's how it works. Okay. Now let's talk about the expenses here. Okay. You're asking for $1,509.09 in pain and suffering. You do not get pain and suffering because your man broke up with you. What you get is a life lesson, okay, that you should tread a little more slowly in matters of the heart than you have been treading. Now, according to your itemization of the expenses and the receipts, you say there's $7,256.70, half of which is the amount that you're asking for in this lawsuit from him. There have been payments made by the two of you throughout these months. You say that you made 2 $100 payments back then. You actually give him credit for 3 $100 payments, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, there is one thing that you and I have not discussed that I saw in your complaint, and that is you have received some of the money back from the vendors. You don't think he should get credit for it?
I don't, because
How come?
he just left, and I had to go around calling everyone to cancel everything, going to stores, returning things. It wasn't easy to do that.
Did you ever discuss it with him when you guys broke up, or it didn't come up and it didn't come up later? How you
I did. I
indicated?
sent him an email.
Okay, and?
And twice, actually. And the second one he didn't respond to.
And why didn't you respond?
She sent me an email to drop off a money order for $100 on her back porch. That's the only thing I got in an email.
I have the emails.
And did you?
No, I didn't.
I have the emails.
I know, but then did you ever respond to her and say, hey, I understand that there's expenses and I can't just leave you? I mean, how is it that you just leave her, you just leave and you think that that's it? Like, how is it you don't pick up the phone and call your would have been mother and father-in-law and talk to them about the debt? This is, I mean, if you're not the things that the girl accused you of, which is a moocher, okay, then why is it that that phone call doesn't take place? I would feel so much better about you if that had. Because then I'd see that you're right, if she'd just been a little bit more patient with you. Did that phone call ever take place with the
It
parent?
never happened.
No, not even a goodbye. Okay, there's a couple things you're asking for that I do agree with him that are just a bit much. Some things that are completely reusable, not a wedding dress, but makeup you can use again, okay? And jewelry you can use again. So there's certain things that I'm gonna be deducting from this, okay? I don't want anybody to talk right now. Minus the makeup and the jewelry, you have expenses. Minus the refunds that you received, which I believe should be split between the two of you, because what you're entitled to is what you're out. So the total is $5,421.30. His half of that is $2,710.65. Minus from that the $300 in payments
Yes.
leaves a judgment in your favor in the amount of the $2,410.65. That is what I am ordering him to pay. As for the counterclaim, I'm ordering the ring to go back to him. Verdict for the plaintiff in the amount of $2,410.65.
Thank you.
Let's get some reaction from the defendant coming out of the courtroom here. The vice president, step up here. What's your reaction to those words from the judge right there?
Well, I definitely did learn something.
Go ahead.
Not to get so fast involved with someone, especially with kids, and not to get involved with someone who does have kids.
How remorseful are you about the state of the family that you left behind?
I feel really bad, especially for the son. I mean, he and I were pretty close, and I didn't like the way that things turned out.
All right. You head right down this way, and let's see what your point of view is from the plaintiff's side here. Well, you satisfied with what you got out of this case? Step up a little bit.
I am. I'm happy with the judge's decision.
What did you get out of this whole thing? Closure?
Yeah, it's just the point that he
Which
owed,
is?
that he owed half
Is
of
it
the
just
money.
the money here?
Yes.
Or you still feel hurt by his
I
leaving?
do a little bit. I do. But the only reason why he started doing better after he left was because he moved in with his boss.
Okay. Harvey?
Okay, Kurt, FYI, the trend is no fault, meaning that it doesn't matter who breaks up the engagement. What matters is if the engagement is off, usually the guy gets the ring back. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.